Shout out to the Pink Pantheress. You just heard right there. You see on the screen, the Pink Pantheress. Shout out to her. Happy birthday to her as well. She was born April the 19th in 2001. So shout out to her for that jam. All right, guys, another late night creep. So the Unashamably Mulatto. What kind of sparked my inspiration for this stream is an article that Renata Mulatta just published several hours ago. And I read this article, and you guys should read it too. We're going to read it live right now. And of course, the article is pinned, it's linked in the description so you guys can have it to your disposable. And really like her wording. I like her wording with this, and let's check it out. The title of her article over on Substack. So go ahead and follow her over on Substack. I have a Substack as well. Follow me over on Substack. It's the same tag, same username, Mulatto Vanguard. I'll get more into that later as well because I'm going to be publishing my newsletters through Substack as well. So you guys can go ahead and follow me over on Substack, and the first of the month I'm going to issue my newsletters so you guys will have access to that. Going into this article right here, Unashamably Mulatto by Renata Mulatta. All right, let's check this out. All right. The term mulatto has long been misunderstood, misrepresented, and misused. Stripped of its context, the word has been dragged through the mud of modern sensitivities without care for its history or the people it actually describes. What many fail to grasp is that mulatto is not a slur. It is not an insult. It is a reflection of lineage, identity, and history. And that is so important. And she concludes her intro, it is a birthright. Yeah, this lady speaks my language. And so when I read this, I was like, wow. Yeah, she speaks my language. She's able to articulate it in a fashion way better than me. I do not have the best articulation. I mean, to some people who are foreigners, they might perceive me to have the best, or not the best, but the very good, excellent articulation to where they'll like hire me. People who are, English is their second language, whatnot. They think my English is like top notch, but when I'm analyzing her text and her wording, the syntax and the semantics, I'm like, wow, she's able to articulate these points in a fashion that I'm still, trying to develop because this is it. It's not an insult. It is a reflection of lineage, identity, and history. It's a birthright. And this is something that we have to literally push in people's faces. We have to let them know this is what it is because they're trying to deny you all of that. I mean, this is with the opposition, what you see with the opposition primarily. But yeah, this is beautifully worded. I really like this. And I'll continue on with it. The mule, often cited in criticism of the term, was never meant as mockery. It was an analogy, not an insult. A metaphorical reference to the crossbreeding of a female horse and a male donkey. Strong, resilient, intelligent, and even adorable, the mule symbolized the emergence of a new being. Not one was literally calling, no, excuse me, no one was literally calling anyone a mule. The reference was symbolic, intended to express the complexity of biracial origin. Comparing that to being called a monkey is both inaccurate and intellectually dishonest. People who are not mulatto have no right to dictate how mulattoes should feel about this term. And that's one of the main things I highlight. in all of my, commentary or even videos and stuff that I published, it's like it's crazy that the main people who are against the term mulatto are people who are not even mulatto. Now, we do find mulattoes who don't like the term, and that's because they have been poisoned, indoctrinated by non-mulattoes to hate themselves. It's very sad. This altruistic nature we see with a lot of these mulattoes. They get into the feminism, the radical feminism, and the radical pro-black Afrocentrism, which a lot of times they're congruent and combined, which in turn goes into like lesbianism and LGBTism, et cetera, et cetera. That's for another program. But we see a lot of mulattoes fall into that trap, go into that. And that's what we see. And these are the main ones that you find that they don't like the word mulatto. They don't like the word mulatto. And then we're sitting there, how can you not like yourself? How have you been programmed? Because their identity is based off something other than their race. Their identity is based off of their, sexuality or but this is the whole thing. Yeah, people who are not mulatto have no right to dictate how mulattoes should feel about the term. Yeah, it's just crazy with me and my social media endeavors and these people who are not even mulatto who are trying to like quote unquote educate me. The word's not a good word. I'm like, bro, you're not mulatto. I don't care what your opinion is on this. You go back to where you came from over there. You're in the wrong spot, right? So continuing on, it puts, this is not your story to write, not your name to reclaim, not your heritage to gatekeep. I love how she words it. Exactly. This is not their heritage to gatekeep. They're trying to equate their little 8% slave master DNA from the plantation to your 50 plus percent European lineage that you got from your parent, your love source, your mother or your father, one of your European parents. They're trying to equate their little slave DNA, their little 7% slave master, Irish DNA from the plantation. They're trying to equate that to you. That's the thing that gets me. And a lot of the times, you guys, you play along with them, you play around with them. It's not the same. So they're in no position to tell you anything. That's the whole point here, right? If the label does not apply to you, then your offense is irrelevant, right? If you're not one of us, you're not mulatto, okay? Your opinion or your offense is irrelevant. We don't care if you don't like the word. You're not a part of the quote unquote club, if I can say that. You're not one of us. I know you guys are trying to break through and break in. You've been doing that since I found you, people. Since I found this whole quote unquote mixed race space on YouTube, it's always been oversaturated and filled with, monoracial people with their admixture that want to pretend like they're mulatto and they have our experiences. They're not the same. And I'm the one guy who jumps up in here and who provides clarity and specificity to say, well, the mulatto is different. The mulatto is not the same as the golden, with whatever label they use golden, right? Their skin color. They want to use these labels or light skin, black, mulatto. We're not the same. A lot of people don't like me because of that, because their whole goal is to keep you trapped in to serve as a subordinate. That's their whole goal. Afrocentrics, right? So they see a guy like me and they're very upset with all the smear campaigns and false allegations and all the stuff that comes with it, right? When you're a content creator with social media, this is what happens when they don't like your political views. They go for the attack. So my whole point is, and her point is as well, we're both in agreement with this. If the label does not apply to you, if you're not even mulatto, like your offense is irrelevant. We don't care. You're not one of us. We're not even talking to you. You're not even a target demographic. We don't care. The term mulatto belongs to those of us born of both white and black ancestry. Reclaiming it is an act of affirmation. Precisely. This affirmation is critically important. Reclaiming the word mulatto, where we are affirming ourselves in the society. We're not asking for permission, or we're not asking, if you like it or not. We don't care. Those of us over here, we just don't care. We don't care. There's other spaces you'll find they do the kind of feminism and LGBT stuff, and they'll sit there and and beg and ask permission and cry and complain. Over here, we don't do that. We're mulatto. If you like it or not, that's on you. The ones who like it, you're in the right spot. It is how we push back against narratives designed to erase us or force us into boxes that do not fit. Yeah, they want to maneuver you into a position of servitude, and they want to condition you to think it's acceptable. It's acceptable to take a shitty deal and to smile while being a subordinate to people who are not your people, you don't identify with, like, and you don't respect the chain of command. You look at it, you're like, well, I should be leading you. Like, what are we doing here? You're not fit, like, very interesting. So continuing on, it was mulattoes who decided the term was offensive. It was not, excuse me, let me rephrase. It was not mulattoes who decided the term was offensive. The crazy thing is, even with this lady, shout out to you, Renata Mulatta, I have so much love for you. And I shared with her that some other mulatto who's an older lady, because me and Renata Mulatta, the lady who wrote this article, we're both millennials around the same age. But I shared with this lady, another mulatto who's an older mulatto, okay? And basically I shared with her that this older mulatta like doesn't like the word mulatto because she saw me post a comment somewhere. And she saw, my visibility. That's the whole point with me and the branding and all this stuff. Like the visibility, people like are gonna see the mulatto, title. It's gonna destigmatize. We're gonna normalize it. If they don't like it, we're gonna drill it in their fucking brains that it's normal to be a proud mulatto. So that's the whole point with a guy like me when I come up in here with the branding and the name, Mulatto Vanguard, or stuff. These people who've been programmed to not like the word, we're going to drill it into their fucking brain and let them know this is an acceptable word. This is an acceptable title and label. You're going to like it. Yeah, they've programmed you and told you it's not acceptable. They've implanted it into your mind that it's not a good word, but we're going to change your opinion. I've changed people's opinions out here. And even, with this channel, more academically focused, and where I get, there's a character, Clout Chaser. Okay. Like when I first met this guy, he hated the word mulatto, was all against it. We got the video receipts and all that stuff. But now he's calling himself a mulatto. It's like, we go figure. What happened? You know, you didn't like the word. You preferred the word golden and all this other stuff, but now you're calling yourself mulatto. Who contributed to that? You wanted to go toe to toe and battle me and all this stuff. Like, I'm not trying to fight any of you people. I don't care. Like, I'm just speaking for the people who have self respect, they're mulatto identified, and they want to uncover the history that we have that's been blackwashed and distorted to serve other people's, agendas. And so with this guy, like he hated the word mulatto not too long ago, but now he likes it. And I'm like, who contributed to that? What happened? How was it destigmatized to where now he identifies as mulatto? Who, So that's my whole purpose. I've done a good job with what I'm doing here. Because even people who don't like me or they've been miseducated, whatever the case may be, eventually by hearing my voice, watching my content, consuming this material, even if they hate it, they just want to consume it to kind of gather notes and data and let me use this against him and slander him in the future. Because when you're a content creator, this is what happens, right? They try to dig up personal information and all this other stuff. They take things out of context. They're trying to collect data to kind of turn around and market it and smear you with it. And so what I'm saying is that these people, they come around and end up destigmatizing the word mulatto. This is what happens. So it was not mulattoes who decided the term was offensive. But as I said, I kind of went on a rant. But there are mulattoes who find the word offensive, which is tragic. But I feel like over time, this is what I want to get the point at, the main point. Over time, and guys like me or whoever out here is putting out material, the word's going to be destigmatized. It's going to be normalized or like, well, yeah, I'm mulatto. Yeah, that's who I am. That's me. I identify with them, that group, that label, that identity, right? Where it's been kind of taboo for years. They're still trying to tell these mulattoes use a nicer word like mixed race, which doesn't mean anything. So anybody can just take that label and you don't mean nothing. They invalidate you when you say you're mulatto. They can't take that shit from you. They're trying to now. They're trying to. We'll get into it in the future in many other ways. They're trying to take that label from you, but yeah, there's so much we can say about that. Let me continue on because it's very interesting. It was not mulattoes who decided the term was offensive, even though we have some mulattoes, older generation, who've been programmed to be Afrocentric. They think it's offensive. They just haven't been informed. It's our job, the younger people, the millennials and Zs, they're in it too, to inform these older people that we're not going anywhere. We're growing. Our numbers are growing, and we have a voice now. The narrative was forced onto us through white supremacist policy, most notably the 1924 Racial Integrity Act, which imposed the one-drop rule. Walter Plecker, 1924 Racial Integrity Act, right? This law reclassified anyone with any amount of black ancestry as black, regardless of their actual heritage. Yeah. So they'll find out you got like 5% black. You're not even like a octoroon. You're like something else. I don't know, whatever. Because the octoroon's like what, 1/8? Octo is Latin kind of prefix for eighth or eight. And they have the quad. The quad's Latin. That's a fourth, right? 25%, 1/4. That's quadroon. That's like, yeah, it's your black grandparent. But your other three grandparents are European or Caucasian, right? So like, but that's how deep the policy went, especially here in America. This is where this primarily applies. We're two mulatto Americans, me, and then we're not a mulatto. But I know people around the world, they listen to me. I get it. But this type of stuff with the policy, government policy using to subjugate, marginalize, and neutralize mulattoes, this goes deep in the fabric of this nation. This is something we're going to have to continue to explore. I just did my last stream on this channel was about the Russell Vaught, he was self-proclaimed Christian nationalist. This rising movement of Christian nationalism, which is white supremacy. They're just rebranding. They're always rebranding, repackaging themselves, right? But to maintain that purity, they see mulattoes as an issue, whereas they see these whites who are more sympathetic towards Africans and a lot of Europeans who are choosing to basically create families or mix in with Africans, and they see this emergence of mulattoes in these historically white nations. So a lot of people are upset about that. Yeah. But we're not going anywhere. It's our job here over here to report the news, talk about it, report it, and inform you guys. And of course, get your guys' opinion on the matter. So continuing on. This law reclassified anyone with any amount of black ancestry as black, regardless of their actual heritage. The goal was not inclusion, it was erasure. Exactly. They wanted to preserve the white race and the black race. We've already, even on this channel here, we've already documented that. Video proof documentation that was their goal. The like white supremacists and Ku Klux Klan and these ultra extreme white supremacists, they wanted to preserve blackness. They wanted to preserve because they liked the arrangement. I don't have the quote in front of me, but there's even a quote from John Wilkes Booth about this because he was like a Confederate sympathizer. And this is a guy who assassinated Abraham Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth. There's a quote, a popular quote out there from him because he, at that time, before TVs and radio, he journaled everything, wrote stuff down. He made a quote about how the peculiar institution, if I'm pronouncing that accurately, peculiar, peculiar institution, right? Slavery, essentially. The arrangement, the power dynamic where the black was beneath, the white was above. This John Wilkes Booth guy, he made a quote about that, the arrangement, and how like With Abraham Lincoln, it was with the Republicans who were anti-slavery platform, and how they changed and upset the whole established order of that time, 1860, right? So that's literally almost 200 years ago. And yeah, so the whole goal, like for a guy like him and for these other, I've documented these white supremacists, what it is they want to maintain black and maintain white, the integrity of both groups. It's they look at the mulatto as the threat to destroying their social order. Like they have a hypersensibility to you. They look at the mulatto as ultimate threat because you're not going to be docile and acquiescent to them. You're going to compete and challenge for power. They know that with the arrangement, that, with the slavery and these dark skinned African Americans, that they are going to be more fitting to serve. That's literally the fabric of this nation. That's been the whole modus operandi from the inception of this nation, even prior 13 colonies, even when it was just Virginia. Like that's always been the arrangement on this land. And so they see the mulattoes as a problem. Okay. But regardless, you mulattoes, you got to fucking wake up and swallow the coffee. Like, I apologize, pardon my French, but the reality of the situation is that this history is not talked about. And we look at ourselves, we look at our position out here in society, we ask ourselves, how do we get here? How is this happening to us out of all people? We're decent people, we're good people. We pay our taxes, we obey the law, we're respectful as much as we can. And we look around here, why are we getting this much hate? Why? Why? So yeah, it was erasure. It was about power, purity, and the suppression of a growing demographic that could threaten the racial hierarchy. As I've stated, it's about they're upset with the fact that we are kind of anomalies in the system. They have an established order. They look at us as we're upsetting the established order, the arrangement they have, where darker skinned Africans who were enslaved can be subordinates to the Anglo Europeans. They had that established. They are working on it the 1500s, 1600s. In the 1700s, they pretty much kind of perfected that. And yeah, here we are today. So this erasure has persisted. Despite the Supreme Court overturning laws based on the one drop rule, the stigma surrounding mulatto identity has never been lifted. Another key, very important fact. Based on the one drop rule, right? The Supreme Court overturned the law, the Loving versus Virginia, but the stigma, the important part is socially, because they have laws all over the place. They have laws against, you name it, laws against the use of marijuana. People, don't obey it regardless of the state, right? You guys know that these type of laws and other laws, I don't want to get into it, but people don't even obey it. They'll still participate. So it's if the public will respect the law and be faithful to it. So that's the thing with the Supreme Court. Yeah, they basically overturn the law, but society, socially, they still stigmatize the mulatto identity. They still look at it as a taboo. And like they're all, and I point this out every day, every chance I get with all my social media, I point it out how they love interracial relationships. The pure-blooded Anglos who are pro-Aryan, want to preserve white purity. They love interracial relationships, all of them. They promote it all over the social media, all of them. All these Dr. Umar, pro-black, black supremacist, and all these type of groups. Whatever group they belong, they're pro-Asian or pro-Hispanic, whatever they are. They all love pro-interracial relationship. But what they're not pro is the upsetting the established order, the arrangement that they currently have, where they can maintain the mulatto males as a subordinate class. This is what it is. And I've noted this is all it is. Like, and that's what that stigma aligns. because they want you subordinate to the blacks that they have control over. I didn't make the rules, but the way the market works, the establishment, that's, they're subordinate nations. We look at these African nations, they're subordinate underneath these other groups. They rely on these other groups for resources, for aid, etc. And primarily it's going to be to the Anglo nations. I mean, no, I know they're doing a lot of trade with China, a lot of these nations, but and then they complain they're not getting the best deal. But again, this is what it is. They look at you as you mulattoes as you are not on that level to compete for power and trade in this society. This is all it is. Today, many black activists insist that mixed people must identify as black and only black because it's a control mechanism, right? They want you to identify with them so they can control. They claim that acknowledging our white heritage is betrayal or a sign of internalized racism. Yeah. By being proud of who you are, to some folks, they're going to say that's internalized racism. That's crazy. But it's very real rhetoric out here, like with the Afrocentrics when we analyze their social media. That is false. Our white parents are not symbols of colonialism. They are our mothers and fathers. We see them with love, not lenses of racial guilt. Exactly. Yeah, she articulates everything so perfectly, but way better than me. I'm a novice at it. I'm just a guy who comes up here. It's like, well, someone's got to say it. Like the quiet stuff that people don't want to say. A lot, I got to say it. And it resonates with you guys. You guys get it. And you guys, of course, kind of repeat it, but also alter it. And you connect with people on the message. And that's the whole goal, is to get the conversation going, to continue it so we can continue this conversation because our numbers are growing. It doesn't make sense. Like the way things have been the arrangement they already have, it's not working for us, right? They want you to be underneath them so they can get the benefits. It's not working for us. We have to renegotiate our position out here. And getting on code for the men to establish something, this is what we have to do. There's no bones about it. Like, no, it's non-negotiable. You guys are going to have to connect and get something going on. But like what she said right here, they want to weaponize your white parent. And this is what it is, right? These are our parents, they're our mothers or our fathers, like, right? We see them with love. And that's something that we have to understand when we deal with them, and why they'll say it's divisive or whatever. When you establish barriers, when you're proud of yourself and you have integrity, you establish barriers, they'll say it's divisive. But the reality of the situation is, well, we have integrity. Like, and you have to establish barriers and tell them, like, look, we're not the same as you, right? And this is the rules, the barriers we set, the guidelines. You're not going to cross this, or we're going to cut off access. And they'll get very upset when you cut off access. And that's kind of what they're upset about now. We establish our own spaces, we're curating it, we're saying, well, we're catering to this specific audience, this specific market. It's not about the numbers, it's all about quality over quantity. This is not a grift. We're not out here doing celebrity gossip, trying to get all the numbers, get everybody to tune in, listen. This is not for everybody. That's the whole point. This is not for everybody. The people who find value in it, the people it resonates, you're in the right spot. It's for you. I'm speaking to a specific niche of people. It's for you. If you like the message, you're vibing, this is for you. This is all for you. This is not for everybody. This is something that's unique and exclusive for us. That's the whole point. To ask a mulatto to hate their white parent is abusive. It is asking us to amputate half of our identity. Her language is interesting. When I read this, I was like, wow, that word, amputate, right? Essentially, what it is, they're telling you to basically cut off a part of your identity to make them feel more comfortable about being monoracially black. Because I don't see that from white people, the white side. I don't see it where they're basically like, you don't talk to your black family, I don't see that. But there is video proof out here on social media land of Afrocentrics who are saying, well, you got to challenge your white parent on racism. Like, even they got guys like Dr. Umar and people in his camp, his following. That's literally their whole message. Well, you need to be eyes for us. You need to go to those white spaces and come back to us and tell us what they're saying. And you need to check them on racism. I ain't doing no work for you, for you people. If I'm the bad guy over here on this channel, it's crazy. Like, they look at you like you're supposed to like help them out. What are they giving you? What are they giving you? Like, as the men, the mulatto men, what are they giving you? And some of you guys message me privately. I know, yeah, they're gonna pay you. You can be a leader of their organization. I get that. And I'm not trying to tell you guys to kind of fuck up your bag. I get it. You're going to be a leader amongst them because you guys are the smartest, brightest, best looking, the mulatto men. Yeah. So you guys, when you deal with them, you'll be leaders amongst them. You'll know. So I'm not telling you to like, distinguish, get rid of all that. No, just be true to yourself. That's all it is. That demand is what causes identity crisis and mental health struggles. It's the whole split kind of situation, right? Split between the European and African. Instead of looking at yourself as the union, the unification, the fusion, right? That demand is what breaks people. Mulattoes deserve to honor both sides of our heritage and be proud of where we come from. No one gets to force their unresolved historical trauma onto us. Yeah, no one gets to force their unresolved historical trauma onto us, especially not those who turn around and use the N word among themselves while telling us that mulatto is offensive. Boom. That's it. That's what it is. Yeah. Like, especially not those who turn around and use the N word, and they use the B word, the ho word, and all this stuff. They talk about themselves, but then they look at you and say, well, mulatto is offensive. Why is that? Because they're losing power, just like their Anglo masses. They're losing power. They see you guys emerging in society. They're losing influence and power. I just played the song with this Pink Pantheress, young mulatto woman from the UK. You guys are the face of pop culture globally around the world. Are mulattoes, all your motion picture, your pop music, your major politicians, you are the future. They see the power is shifting. You guys are acquiring more power. Your numbers are growing. And they fear this. This is what we see. That demand is what breaks people. Mulattoes deserve to honor both sides of our heritage and be proud, right? Continuing on with this, she puts, there is also a toxic and divisive narrative claiming that mulattoes with black mothers are more authentic and more culturally connected. Now that's coming from black women. Let's be clear, black females, black males aren't pushing that. That's coming from black females. This whole black mother, you're more connected to the black culture. I mean, a lot of you guys follow me. You follow me on social media. You guys got black moms. I mean, you know, what if what I'm saying is accurate, or are what these Afrocentric quote unquote divestors are what they're saying is accurate? You tell me, because you guys find me, you know, something's up. People lie to you, even your own parents, your own mom. And that's happened with all of us, even those of us with our white moms. They told us race didn't matter, just be a good person. And as we mature in society, we realize, well, shit, everything's tribalistic. Everyone's got their tribes. Where is your tribe? Where's your mulatto tribe? That's what these mulattoes are starting to figure out and question. Where is their tribe? Where is their support system? Who has their back? That's what they're starting to question. They realize their parents, a lot of times, they failed them. They lied to them. Just be a good person. Yeah, I get it. Work hard. Obey the law for sure on this channel, not even the social media, not all my channels, just as a person, as a human being, whatever you are, obey the law. Okay, treat people decently. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's the kind of the slogan, moniker, whatnot. But where's your tribe at? That's the but. The but, yeah. Who has your back? Who has your back? Everybody else, and they can get clicked up very easily. They can get plugged in. They have a support system. They have people who will back them up, people who identify with them, people who like they understand where they're coming from. Where is that for you? So what they want to play this black mom, white mom game. It's like I just don't see a large number. I feel like these are outside forces pushing that onto us to dissuade us and destabilize us. They're talking about like, well, which parent is which race to try to confuse all of us to destabilize us. Like none of us decided what parent, you know, the race of our parent. That's not we didn't decide that, but we're here now. Like that song "Smells Like Teen Spirit" from Nirvana. Here we are now. Entertain us, a mulatto, right? But we're here now, and like this is they're using that to dissuade us from connecting with each other. That's all it is. I've known that from day one. I was like, there's no difference. I don't see any difference between a mulatto, or you can say biracial, that has a black mom versus one that has a white mom. We're the same. There's no difference. People want to they can't articulate the nuances. What Like I said, they make these broad statements about you're more connected to the culture because your mom transfers culture more. And I'm looking at these people, they're not blacker than me, homie. Like they have nothing more than I have. Just because like your mama, okay, that's your mama. That ain't you, bitch. That ain't you. That's your mama. Okay, I get it. Or your daddy, whatever you like. That's not you. You're different. Like that's the thing that they try to put that in front of us to dissuade us from connecting with each other. We have more in common than we have that are differences. We'll get more into that later. Let me continue on with the article because I kind of got sidetracked. That belief fuels discrimination against mulattoes with white mothers and plays into anti-white woman stereotypes. It is a double standard rooted in bitterness, not truth. Yeah. I talked about it the other day, yesterday on TikTok. Go follow me on TikTok, guys. You guys are following me here on YouTube. Go follow me over on Substack, and also go follow me on TikTok. Just follow me wherever the hell I'm going. You follow me. I got some people who are already doing that. You know, and either way, it works out. Like the publicity, the promotion, whatever. Like either way, it works in my favor. You follow me, exposure, more people find out who I am. It's funny because like people will make the claim, well, you're nobody, you're not special, and you're short and fat and all this stuff. And you're living in your mom's basement. They'll make all these claims, but it's like, well, the more you talk about me, the more like attention you're bringing towards me. So you claim I'm not special, but by talking about me, all you're doing is like giving me free promotion. You're spreading awareness of who I am. You think you're going to demonize my character and like destroy me like digitally on social media and all this stuff, the false allegations and smear campaigns. But really, you're just promoting me because you claim I'm nobody, I'm nothing, but you're giving me free promotion. More people see me. And unfortunate for you, the narcissist, what you realize is when more people find me, they look at this material, they're like, I like this guy. This guy speaks my language. Like people like me. That's what they hate the most. Like the narcissist. They hate the fact that people like me. It's crazy. Let me continue on. So, most white mothers of mulatto children are not racist and do not say racially insensitive things to their kids. You know, yeah, I mean, I have a white mom, but the thing is like, you say most, you know, we need to collect more data to prove it's substantially, valid because, Some of the times, some of these people, they say their parent, their white parent was saying stuff to them. They rather say their black parent or something like that, vice versa. But interesting. It is unfortunate that some mulattoes have had that experience, right? But many of those cases involve mulattoes born out of wedlock to single white mothers who carry resentment from a brief encounter with a black man who is now absent. Yeah, that's definitely tragic. It sucks, and it happens a lot. But the goal here is to create a space for them to know, hey, you got a spot over here. Let's work through this. Work with people who are going to sympathize and understand you more than anybody else out here. We get it over here. We've seen it time and time again. We understand. Let's work it out. The dynamic creates a different kind of pain, but it does not reflect the broader reality for mulattoes with white mothers. Those individuals should seek healing and therapy, not project their trauma onto the rest of us. Spreading that narrative only reinforces a stereotype and slander that both black and white communities already throw at us. And that's the key thing is you're giving them like when you push the whole white mom, black mom thing, you're giving people who already wanted to dissuade you and deny you your right in personhood, you're giving them kind of like free like ammunition basically. They already don't want you guys to become your own group. They want to marginalize you. It's that marginalization. They want to stigmatize you, your existence. And they want to isolate you and separate you and fragment you. So where it's this biracial guy there, that mulatto over there, and this mulatto over here. They don't want you guys to consolidate and come together. That's your power source. Everyone else does it. We see how black people have done it historically in the United States, have gained so much power. The most powerful Africans and blacks on the planet are in the United States as far as their wealth and the connection and their ties and their access to resources they have, all up in the military and every other influence in government, right? So because of that, because they can still consolidate to change the social order. And these other groups, they know that. The Mexicans know, they protest. They know that with this whole immigration thing with Trump and the Mexicans can get together and protest, they can get shit popping. The Israelis, the Palestinians, they have all these protests for Palestinians and stuff. They can get shit popping. Laws passed. You saw that with Asian Americans. When the hate crimes are going on, they galvanized and protested. They got shit passed very quickly, mighty quickly. But with you mulattoes, it seems like, well, what's going on? They still want to play dumb in front of you. I've been talking this shit for 2 years. They still want to look at you and play dumb in a society. We're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. I got a hard head, nasty attitude a lot of the times. We're not going anywhere. Okay. And this is it. Like, you got to advocate for yourself. And what I'm saying here is a lot of these groups, they coerce and work in manners that's not favorable to us. We have to question that. We are not an extension of the black community. We are not an extension of the black community. We're our own group, our own community. And a lot of mulattoes don't want to hear it. It's unfortunate, but I'm looking at it like with the future, and this is where we're going. We are not trophies to be claimed in times of success or scapegoats in times of conflict. Probably the best words stated in this article. And this is really what it is. Right? We are not trophies to be claimed, where they want to claim every mulatto who does something good or achieves some success. Neil deGrasse Tyson, W.E.B. Du Bois, Charles Drew, Barack Obama, Patrick Mahomes. Every time a mulatto reaches the top pinnacle of his endeavor, they want to claim you like a trophy when you're the best of your field, right? And she puts here, we are not trophies to be claimed in times of success or scapegoats in times of conflict. Where now that the economy is not looking too good, the politics are shifting. Now all the same people, the Afrocentrics who voted for Obama, praised Obama, this token mulatto guy, now they all turn on the mulatto Barack Obama. Now they say Barack Obama, he's an agent. The mulatto problem. Chancellor Williams warned us about this. These mulattoes, now all these crazy ass conspiracy theorists, racist blacks, they're pushing this stuff. This is it. Like they claim all your wins when they can benefit off of you in times of success. At the same time, they'll use you as a scapegoat when it's times of conflict. The way she worded this is perfect. This is the reality we see. This is what they do. They want to claim all your wins. Once they can't benefit from you, they throw you under the bus. The best example that has been given to us the past year has been Drake. That is Drake, like I say, the macrocosm. It is the best example of everything I have been articulating for the past 3 years. What we see. And that's in popular media, pop culture. We can say pop, that's not politics. It's hip hop politics, the beef, right? The savages, right? That's at the lower level. What you see, what's going on with Drake, who's a fucking entertainer, he doesn't dictate policy. He's suing the record label. That's going to change the music industry for sure. Big things are going to happen. But that's a minimal level. That's like at the entertainment kind of level. But if they'll do that to him, it's just a reflection of all of you. That's the macrocosm level. They've been dancing and singing to Drake for 15 years. What the hell happened? How come they turned on him so quickly? The same people who love Drake and dance to his music and listen to that, and then now they turn on him for some short, dark skin, fake pro black with his mixed race baby mama Kendrick. They praise him as if he's legit. Like, you guys see how the process, how they operate. This is what it is. They use you when they can claim you and benefit. Once they're done, they look at you as a scapegoat. You guys, we gotta get out of this stuff. Like, you got it. Like, embracing mulatto. This is the way forward. You're gonna get out of this stuff. You don't have to like me. I'm not special. I'm just one voice. Renata Mulatta. She's a voice. She has social media. There's other content creators as well. Like, that's the thing. I'm not telling you guys to like me. Just analyze the material. Look at the material. Like, come on. It's not that hard to see what's going on. And then she puts here, we are not here to fulfill anyone else's idea of identity. We are our own. That's important. I think a lot of people, they don't understand. We are our own. And for me, like for us, how do I want to word this? We look at the future and we're not indebted to these other groups in the sense that our offspring are not a member of those groups. That's what it is. Because you deal with mulattoes, they love being mulatto. Their identity, they like it. They're all over the place in these spaces. I get it. We're here. But you have some where it's like, well, they've invested into a monoracial community. Their offspring is a part of that group. And so it's like it's hard, it's going to be hard to convince them that, quote unquote, we are our own. If you guys understand, when they've birthed children from from the other group, that's not mulatto, right? And they can call their offspring mixed race. That's fine. You want to call your offspring a griff, that's okay, but a griff is not mulatto. And I think that's where things kind of get funny here in this discussion. I think we talk about we are our own, and some people don't quite understand that. I understand that. This lady does as well. We're not a mulatto, and a lot of you other people out here, you guys get it. But that's where stuff gets a little funny in this discussion, because you do have proud mulattoes, but then they come to find out where, yeah, their investments are elsewhere, right? So let me continue on. We bridge two worlds. That is our strength, not our shame. Being mulatto means reconciling the conflict of white and black communities in our own existence, trying to find balance and peace in a lot of chaos that we witness and see. The very fact that we exist as the children of both sides in a country historically defined by the division between these two groups makes us living proof that these worlds are not as irreconcilably as society wants to believe. The specificity of the term mulatto is especially important in America as a white black nation, where these two racial groups are the most dominant and the most polarized. Yeah, it's basically those two, right? You see the current case going on right now over in Texas, in I forgot what area, but there was like a stabbing that occurred in a high school. So these were kids. I think they were both like 17 years old or something. They weren't even adults. They were kids, high school students. And there was a stabbing that occurred, and the white guy, as a white kid, he got stabbed, and the black kid, and he was on bond or whatever. The people raise money. There's a whole debate going on about that, right? And I don't want to get into that here because that's separate. Other people talk. You guys know the whole case. I haven't even looked into all the details because it's just it's part of this nation. That dichotomy, that binary nature, the white and black, and this constant struggle and battle. That's part of the country. That's how this country was built, right? They exploited free labor to build a fucking enterprise that can compete globally in the whole marketplace. So like they've benefited off of that, and there's a power dynamic that people still haven't kind of settled yet, but we are quote unquote caught in the middle for all intents and purposes. But being in that position in the middle, it's not the worst position. I always tell people I rather be quote unquote stuck in the middle than stuck at the bottom, because a lot of your haters, most of your hate, all your haters, they're gonna be beneath you. They're stuck at the bottom. They're not up top. Like they don't throw shit from up top, throw it down. It's people who are beneath you or hating on you. So that's why I look at it like this whole stuck in the middle. I'm like, nah, it's kind of, it looks like it's a problem. The whites and the blacks, they're fighting and over this shit. But I think my position's kind of decent. I'd rather be here than at the fucking bottom. Let me continue on. I don't want to hurt your feelings. Apologize for the cussing. I know I want to make this more academically presentable, right? The white and black dichotomy is a central racial conflict of this country, and mulattoes are the embodiment of both. We are not a vague mix. We're not vague. Like there's nothing vague. They try to use terms like with, we'll say like a Andrew Tate, they'll say like mystery meat. There's no mystery to Andrew Tate. He's a European and African. His father seemed to have some type of admixture, maybe possibly a Griff. I don't know. Emery Tate. People are claiming he's not fully black. He doesn't look fully black. He looks like he's got considerable European genes. I don't know. And Andrew Tate's mother is European, right? British, I believe. So like, yeah. So like, but people use a term vague mix. He's not. There's nothing vague. He's Anglo and African and Afro-Saxon. He like that's very specific. There's nothing vague about this. We say mulatto, like Afro-Saxon, you know, Germanic. We can say Afro-Germanic. Like there's very specific lineage we're pointing to. There's no ambiguity, but people will still try to sit there and say mystery meat as a slur or something, right? Right? Vague. No, right? And I agree with Renata Mulatto. We're not a vague mix. We're ultra specific with our heritage. Like we wear it on our shoulder. I've been doing that since I was in the third grade. Since my mom, brought me an artifact that's from the Black Forest in Germany, and I brought it to school in a presentation, like that's been part of my whole upbringing and identity. This is part of who I am. This is like a tradition, history, culture passed through my mom, and I was presenting that my whole life. And my father as well. It's part of who we are. Like there's no vagueness, right? For us over here, you know, over on this spot, there's no ambiguity or vagueness. We're very keen, pinpoint, and precise in what we're saying. We are the union of two opposing forces carrying the weight of both histories and both cultures. We are the reconciliation of these two worlds in one, making up our own specific and independent definable demographic. Exactly. As this country becomes increasingly racially polarized, mulattoes often find ourselves trapped in a crossfire of a conflict we did not create. We are the unwilling recipients of hostility that is not truly about us, but instead rooted in long-standing resentment. This animosity stems from a deep-seated frustration toward white people. Because mulattoes are frequently perceived as being in closest proximity to whiteness, we become a convenient vessel for that displaced anger. At the same time, we face resentment from white people who see us as a living contradiction, carrying the very black blood that they have spent generations trying to control or erase. Very excellent point. Like I said, her articulation is on fleek. I learned a thing or two, even just analyzing her comments and her material, her text. I'm like, oh, this is, this is a captain over here around these parts because everything she's saying is resonates with what I've been saying since day one. But yeah, at the same time, we face resentment from white people, but who see us as look at us as a contradiction. We're shattering their psyche. They already have it embedded that the Bantu they have captured that they're going to control them. They already have systems in place, psychological, social systems in place to capture the dark skinned African underneath their influence. But they look at us, we're like, well, we have African blood. That's one of our parents was of that hue. And they spent their whole generation trying to control, erase, and contain this kind of sub Saharan African, right? And they see us and they're like, well, they can't do this. The same tricks don't work with us. That's where their frustration comes from. They realize the power dynamic, it doesn't work with us. They realize we're more competitive, we're more feisty, and we're going to fight. And that's what they're really against. That's what they're very irritated by. They see us as a new problem they have to deal with. To them, our existence disrupts the boundaries they have tried to enforce. In the end, we are left holding the weight of both sides projections burdened with pain, rejection, and expectations from divided society that sees us as both too much and never enough. This is why it means everything to excuse me. This is why it means everything to revive our historical identity as mulatto Americans. I think a lot about young mulattoes in this country. And my whole goal, like for me, like the reason why standing, I'm stumbling over my words right now. I apologize. The reason why I am sitting here speaking to you guys is because I knew this a couple years ago when I first started. I was like, look, the younger people, regardless of what you feel, they're going to move forward with something. At the least you can do to solidify your legacy, establish a name for yourself, contribute to the greater good of society. The least you can do is speak up and provide some material and push it out here. Like the younger people are going to pick it up and they're going to run with it. They're going to far exceed everything I'm doing. Everything I'm doing, this is nothing. Like the younger mulattoes, they're going to capture it, they're going to analyze it, they're going to develop something that is just far superior. I've known that from day one. That's the whole goal here. Well, I'm literally just planting the seeds. They're going to take this, they're going to roll with it, it's going to grow. That's it. And that's been the whole thing for me is I already knew I already saw like with these Z's and these alphas, the future generations, they don't really have a choice. I feel like me as a millennial, it's interesting. Like, yeah, you could be black if you want. You have to marry into blackness. That's what the prior generations have all done. They've gotten absorbed. We know that, like, especially like with the female counterparts, mulattas, I should say. You just get a black partner and have a kid with the black guy, and poof, you got black kids, and you're black. You're part of the community. Like that's always been the modus operandi, like for the generations. But I feel like I'm looking at these younger generations, they don't necessarily want to go that route. They want other options that are more suitable for them. And I've always known that since I've got up here, looking at the future. Not a psychic, but I think my observations have been pretty accurate. They are being made to feel small, irrelevant, and invisible among their own peers. She says she thinks a lot about young mulattoes in this country. Exactly. They're being marginalized, she's saying. They've been made to feel that they're small and irrelevant and invisible amongst their peers because they look at their peer groups where they live in these areas in the Southwest, and it's like, oh, they have a large Hispanic population or Mexican population, Chicanos, and they see them and they're like, oh yeah, they're all proud to be Chicano. They all speak Spanish. I'm talking to like, I'm trying to kind of help grow the network of like Blaxicans I see amongst and over on like TikTok. I have Blaxicans who follow me here at all my platforms, right? Even here YouTube, but I'm from Orange County, California, Southern California, about 30 minutes outside of Los Angeles. So it's like, yeah, Blaxicans there. I've always interacted and have seen representation of Blaxicans in that environment, and they're all over the Southwest. So like their numbers are growing, and what I'm saying is that I want to see a lot more of them connect, and they relate to this as well. Or a lot of people they feel that they're basically irrelevant or invisible in society, but there's just so much more of you guys out here. It doesn't make sense to continue like the same process that we've done for the past couple decades that hasn't worked out for you. You see older mulattoes who are kind of like washed up. Like what are they where are their wins? What can they show? Like that's the thing. Like, and I hate to say that, and they're gonna demonize me. People are gonna, clip this and spin it and try to demonize me, but it's like, well, where are the wins? Where are the wins? We got Richard Miller who created the mulatto flag. Big ups to you, man. I mean, I have so much respect. Basically drafted the flag off the Dominican flag, and Dominicans, as I said, are probably our greatest allies. These Afro Latinos who are more so in the mulatto spectrum, they're going to be our greatest allies over here. And so I appreciate Richard Miller, and I see, and there's other people here, but it's like, man, I want to be remembered. Like in 10, 20 years from now, I want people to realize, hey, there's value in what that guy said. What he said, what he did, the material he created, the content, so to speak. Like there's value attached to that. Like they learned something, they're motivated, inspired. Like yeah, because I feel like with us in our group, we don't have a lot of that. We look at the older generation, us millennials, we're like, what the hell happened? Like, I guess it's more comfortable. You find a black partner and just be absorbed in the blackness. Okay, I guess it worked out for you, particularly, but what about the rest of us? We're all sitting here standing around looking at each other. Like, what the hell do we do? Like, there's no manuscript or blueprint or guideline. Like, we don't have that. So from scratch, we have to create and establish something that's going to serve us for our prosperity and survival. And of course, you know, whenever you try to propose something that's going to be unique and beneficial, of course, you're going to get hate. They're going to hate you for it. They're going to hate you. They're going to hate the fact that people listen, people respect you, and with that, it's there's a lot of headaches. Let me continue on. Put black people often speak on mixed race identity as if they live it when they don't. They can't speak on it. It's not their experience. They do not. No monoracial person can speak for mulattoes, just as mulattoes cannot speak for the black or white experience. Exactly. You're mulatto, and we try to speak up for black people. They're going to tell you, shut the hell up. Like you have these token mulattoes, like a Sage Steele or a Mala. I can't even pronounce her last name. Is it Epukuni or something like that? Like with her, you know, you look at her, like very pretty mulatto. Like I said, I'm upset the fact she wanted to take shots at Drake. I had to unfollow her just based off principle. I can't support her, any of her platforms or follow her. But yeah, we all know what she looks like. I promoted her before. Very pretty mulatto. And it's like with her, like none of these white her audience, they're not gonna look at her as one of them. No, she's the token quote unquote black, even though she's mulatto. Got a white mama. You're not black, okay? And you know, so they're not gonna let her speak for Anglo issues. She gets to be the token acceptable quote unquote black amongst whites. And that's the thing what Renata Mulatto is pointing out here. She says no monoracial person can speak for mulattoes, just as mulattoes cannot fully speak for black or white experiences. Yeah, so these mulattoes who think they can grift off the right wing, like they can't, you know, speak for them. They can't, right? It is not arrogance to demand that others stop pretending they understand us better than we understand ourselves. It is self respect. Yeah, exactly. It's that's the most kind of disrespectful part on their half, on their behalf to why I'm kind of very aggressive with my delivery because they're very arrogant to where they think they know more about you than you know about yourself. And they'll try to speak for you. I'm like, well, whoa, wait a second. You're not one of us. You're not one of us. Yeah. You can pretend, okay, or whatever. Like all you people will analyze your text and everything, your comments. Yeah, you're not one of us. You'll pretend you are, but that's the part is where they want to like speak for you. And it's very insulting. Like, it's crazy. But this is par for the course, man, with social media. Par for the course. So ironically, mulattoes often face more hostility from black people than from whites. Yeah, yeah, we face it from both for sure. But ironically and sadly, we see that a lot of times, especially nowadays. See, that's what I'm saying with like the kind of gap in between, like with the older mulattoes, the generational nuance is what you know. J4 conversations, the way he articulated his articulation was fucking really good. Really liked his articulation with these affairs, and that's how he phrased it. Was a generational nuance. When we see like the older, like this kind of the Gen X, older Gen X boomer group and how they were kind of given a pathway to blackness. Black people weren't as hostile back then in those older generations, say the 80s, like maybe early 90s, 80s, and 70s, as they are today. Like they're very hostile towards mulattoes because with all the integration and all this stuff, that like mulattoes are always going to be preferred over them. And that's their resentment they have towards you. They're just jealous of you. They're upset that their white massa, who they love and worship, prefers the mulatto over them, and they hate you for that. This jealousy thing runs deep with them, and you can't really reason with it. And that's my whole plea to these mulattoes. You got to develop your own situation. You got to develop your own situation. You don't have to like me. That's okay. But at least have some self respect, dignity, integrity, and do your own stuff. Just do that. So the future generations, they can walk around here with some pride. So white people may be cautious, but that caution is usually based on curiosity or fear of missteps, not resentment. Black hostility, on the other hand, often comes from insecurity. Yeah, as I stated, just the jealousy, the insecurity, the jealousy. They can't hide it as much as they try to. They can't hide it. That they're upset that the Anglo will identify with you more than them. But they've been conditioned to serve the Anglo and they hate you because of that. It's very unfortunate. And we're going to talk more about that in the future. There is a fear that our fluidity threatens their identity boundaries. Interesting. Our fluidity threatens their identity boundaries. There is resentment that we are not easily controlled and categorized. It's because you mentioned here the fluidity. We're more malleable. We're not easily controlled. and categorize. They don't know where to place us. Are you this type of mulatto? Are you that type of mulatto? Right? They're going to be like, are you the Sage Steele type of mulatto who's on the Republican rights, right? Who married into whiteness? Or are you the Barack Obama type of mulatto who married a black female? And they're going so far to say that that woman's not even a male, or excuse me, not even female. Pause. Like that's how far, like with them, their rhetoric to say that Michelle Obama is a man. That they've been pushing that conspiracy for a long time. We're like, no concrete proof or evidence. It's just conspiracies, but that's how crazy it gets with them, man. That's how crazy it gets. Yeah. So there is a fear that our fluidity threatens them. Yeah. When we succeed, they try to claim our victories as black excellence. And that's, I love how she puts this here, because also she stated earlier where it's basically like they want to claim your wins as if it's a trophy, but conveniently they'll try to scapegoat you at the same time. But like, oh, like with Drake, they'll claim all of his wins, all of his hit songs. They'll do the Kiki challenge, Kiki, do you love me? Remember that song? Was it, I forgot the name of the song from Drake. He had a song, he has a bunch of hits, bunch of songs. But he had one song that had like a challenge, a TikTok dance challenge, dancing to the Kiki, do you love me? Like they'll dance all these pro dark skin Kendrick Lamar, fake crying about colorism, fake Afrocentrics. They were all dancing to Drake and all this stuff, but then they flip around and turn around and throw Drake under the bus. Oh, it's the dot era. I tweeted that or on posted that over on my X, right? Go follow me on X, Mulatto Vanguard, right? And like they call talking about the dot era. They're calling it now. I laughed at that. I'm like, bro, this kid, they're really trying to like rally behind Kendrick Lamar. They're just picking anybody at this point. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar has got some good hits. I give you that. Yeah, he's got what's the song called? The King's Dead, the Black Panther feature. He has a couple other songs, like, bro, but he's nowhere near as popping as Drake. And they're fucking fooling themselves with this, man. It's crazy. They're gassing themselves up, man. But that's that Afrocentric fake pro black shit. And all they have with the mulatto man is try to kick him out of blackness. Or you're not even black enough like me. You're not a real authentic black, the blacker the berry. While the dark skinned black guy wants the mulatto female. But at the same time, they're going to look at you and say, well, you're not black like them. And I look to these men like, why do you entertain this stuff? Make sure they dance for you and sing. Make sure they pay you. You have to get something from them. When you deal with them and they come around you, they need to give you something. I just do not get it. And I see these mulatto men. But those of you who've messaged me, whatever, we talked and chatted, and you're actually in a position above them to where you're their manager, owner, etc., a leader amongst them. I get it, you guys. I get it. And I said this when I started the stream. I get it with you guys. But for the mulatto men who just want to be a part of the quote unquote tribe, the pro, and it's like, and you don't get nothing from them. I just don't get it. Like there's enough of you guys out here. You got to get your own shit popping. And that's what I'm saying. I see these like Blaxicans. Like there's enough of you guys out here. You guys see the game going on. You see the discrimination. Click up. That's it. Click up. Connect with these people. You guys are good. You guys got numbers. You're growing. You guys got to develop this stuff. So, black hostility, on the other hand, is often comes from insecurity. Basically, it always comes from insecurity, right? There's a fear that our fluidity threatens their identity boundaries. There is a resentment that we are not easily controlled or categorized. When we succeed, they try to claim our victories as black excellence. When we speak up, they try to silence us. And she's saying when we speak up, they try to silence us. They'll tell you, well, you don't have the same experience as me. You're not dark skinned. You're not really black. You got a white mom. It's a different experience than me. It's not the same as me. But what the hell? You claim all my wins. Not with a guy like me. I'm just like kind of giving commentary. I'm laughing. But with me, I just sit here and laugh. I'm the bad guy out here, guys. On these mulatto streets, I'm the bad guy, but I just sit here and I'm, you know, you're not gonna pull that with me about, you're not gonna shame me, not with me. You guys see pictures out here with the mulatto vanguard and Dr. Umar Johnson. Yeah, I've done my work already. I've already done enough to show that I've supported people, and I wouldn't take back anything because I learned a lot. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for all these experiences. Driving in Los Angeles, connecting with different people, volunteering, participating in community events, Martin Luther King Jr. parade, and all this stuff. Like, all of that was beneficial for me because it's part of who I am. But I just think they can't pull that with me, with this fake pro black ish that they typically will use. With me, no, no. We are not victims. And that's what I always said on my other channel, my main channel, the one that all started it, right? Mulatto Vanguard. I say that every day, that my whole goal here is not to tell you guys we're victims. We're not. Our goal is the whole objective here is we got to get our shit together. We got to connect. We got to build something, do something, create something, just create something and promote it as a mulatto product. That, hey, this is for us. This is us. This is our identity. Share it with somebody. That's it. We have to continue to push this forward. So I don't position myself as being a victim. We're not. Like, we have so many advantages. We have to utilize them right now. No more waiting and pretending. A lot of you pretenders and scaredy cats, and you don't want to get out here. I take all the hits. They're trying to fucking destroy me. It's not they. It's not a whole team. It's one fruitcake who's trying to, get his little flying monkeys and other people to participate to get me up out of here. But it's just one guy, right? One guy, one Fruit Loop. So it's not like a whole team of them, but they can get a team of people. That's the whole point. And yeah, but like I said, for me, because I'm out here talking this stuff. I'm out here pushing for this, analyzing this material, presenting it to the public. So of course they look at a guy like me, they're gonna hate me. Like, how dare you talk about this? That's why they hate me, right? They can make up the lies and false slander and false claims, false allegations, rewrite history, and just straight out make up shit, lie. But ultimately, what it comes down to is their jealousy and hate. The opposition, I'm saying right now, guys, is because you guys are listening. You guys connect with the message. It resonates with you guys. You guys like, hey, this guy represents us. This guy's speaking our language. He's about us. He's about establishing a tribe. They see the community formation in its organic form. And because of that, they hate me because of that, because they can't do the same themselves. They cannot organically create a community that is self-sustaining, where we support each other, we advocate for each other, we uplift each other, we love our image. We look at ourselves in a mirror, we're like, we look good. We're the best looking people. Nobody out here looks better than mulattoes, period. The men or the women, we're the best looking people. And we look ourselves in the mirror, we like who we are. And we're coming together, we're finding our own place. They hate that about us. And they hate the fact that I have a strong voice in these endeavors with this discussion. And I'm just saying that's the reason why a guy like me, you see all the hate and slander out there. That's primarily what it is. They hate the fact that we're establishing a community. So, like I said, my whole position here is we're not victims. We're not. We're not. We got to get our shit together and start to network more, period. And we're not confused. We see what's going on. There's no confusion here. We are not half anything. We're whole, right? We are whole people with a distinct identity that deserves its own space and name. We have endured historical erasure. We have survived cultural dislocation. Now we are ready to be seen. I love what this woman represents and what she's putting here, her statements, because that's what it is. Yeah, we have survived cultural dislocation and historical erasure, like with how flower was brought to my attention with not only mulatto peppers recently, Flowers, shout out to her, but also like she Flowers brought to my attention the whole Mulatto Mountain. I had no idea they had a Mulatto Mountain that they renamed like a couple years ago to Simone Mountain. They erased the whole name. It's a bad word. Let's name the mulatto after a dark-skinned black woman. We're like, what? And then you have a mulatta like Zoe Zaldana, Dominican. Then, she plays Nina Simone. They named the mountain off of. And then who cries and complains? The same dark-skinned people who don't like the word mulatto. You guys, the hypocrisy and irony is so disgusting. This is where some of my kind of, irritation comes from, because they want to destroy you. They don't want you to have an identity. They want to erase you. They'll gladly blackwash everything you do as a mulatto. But when you play a Hollywood role off of one of their characters, Nina Simone, right? Zoe Saldana supposed to play for Nina Simone. They cry and complain colorism stuff. Like, wait a second. They changed the whole fucking name of Mulatto Mountain to honor a black woman. That's mulatto erasure. That's blackwashing and erasing mulatto history. They don't say anything about that, guys. Who else is talking about this on social media? Oh, mulatto vanguard, that's not important. That's insignificant. And that's what your detractors will tell you. They love the fact that they're getting a better deal out here than you. And this is part and parcel, man. Why you get shitty treatment, why it's acceptable for them to make light skin jokes, but you make a dark skin joke, they call you anti-black and colorist, right? The same fruitcake who's out here smearing me and all this stuff, he creates all these multiple fake sock puppet accounts. He creates an account and he talks about how Mulatto Vanguard's anti-black and he doesn't like women with black, baby daddies. Like, no evidence of me saying any of this stuff. But the main thing this Fruit Loop will say is you're anti-black. And it's like, that's it. This is all they have. This is all they have. This is all they're going to use is you're anti-black. You're anti-black. The whole thing in here, guys, because I lost my train of thought. It's late where I'm at. Regardless, you guys are still listening. As you always will. You always will listen. You're not going to get this information anywhere else. We're not victims over here, and we're not confused. We're not half anything. We are whole people with a distinct identity that deserves its own space and name. We have endured historical erasure, which I was getting at with the whole Mulatto Mountain. Right? We have survived cultural dislocation. Now we are ready to be seen. The restoration of mulatto as a recognized racial category on a U.S. census is not just a symbolic act, it is a necessary correction of historical injustice. In the early history of the United States, mulatto was a legitimate category. By 1850, it was included in the U.S. Census, but in 1930, it was eliminated as part of the campaign to erase mulatto identity. The damage continues to this day. Restoring the mulatto category is about mental health, historical truth, and social accuracy. Many mulattoes feel unrepresented. And that's what I tell people, like, look, you don't have to like me. I know people don't like me. You feel like I don't represent you. You don't like my delivery, my message. That's perfectly fine. But go, speak your own truth or go find someone you like their message resonates with you. For me, it works out for me. The people I see over here, I see you guys in the chat. I'll get to your comments. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys being here with me this late in the evening. Kind of stumbling up here, stumbling on my words, just trying to get this out here. Doing the best justice I can for Renata Mulatta, because as you guys can tell with some of the videos I upload, the comments and posts and all this stuff, like she just gives, like, there's so much, her takes are spot on. Like with my belief system and what I'm trying to do over here, the mission, what I'm doing over here, she's in tune with that. So I find her commentary to be so complimentary to everything I'm doing. That's why I take this time to focus on what she's saying. Her work is very well respected. So yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like with the mulatto category is about mental health, historical truth, and social accuracy. Many mulattoes feel unrepresented, and I said, you don't have to like me, but there's a lot of mulattoes who feel like I do represent them. And if you don't like me, then please go, create a social media page, speak about it. I'm not going to stop you. I can't stop you. And I don't want to. I got too much crap going on in my life. I'm just trying to live my life. Like I'm not special out here. All right. There's more people more focused on what I'm doing than even my damn self. It feels like this is not the most professional stream. I know. I apologize, Renata Mulata. Want to be as polished and professional, like with this article and stuff, but I'm speaking a lot of like kind of personal anecdotes at this hour. But it's crazy how some people are so invested on what I got going on. I'm sitting there like, what the hell, man? You know, the fact that I'm connecting with you guys, you mulattoes, like my mission is already accomplished. Like you guys, it's up to you. I'm not special. Like th- this is going to continue on. I want you guys to succeed and to thrive and be better than me because it takes off weight off of me because I can focus on what I have going on. This isn't my whole life. I'm up here, what, past midnight, late at night before I get some rest. Like, this is extra stuff on the side. Like, but we have to do it. These discussions have to be had. And I can find the time to have these discussions. Yeah, it's going to be late at night when I can get it going on, but we got to have these discussions. And it's going to be basically time stamped and in the public domain so you guys can review the material whenever you're ready, etc. But yeah, someone's got to do it. That's the whole point. Someone has to do it, and this has to do with representation. Many mulattoes feel unrepresented, and I want mulattoes to feel like they have some type of representation. When they tune into me, they listen to me, they see, okay, you know. And I thought about that earlier at the gym. That's what gives me the most pride in what I'm doing is I have these men who are better than me. They're bigger, stronger, in better shape. They got more money. They have their own family, their own businesses going on. In older, like Gen X mulattoes, and I see these you men. You guys are listening to me right now or on the playback, whatever. I have all the respect for all of you guys. Yeah, because you guys, that's the thing, that encouragement. When these men tell me, "Hey, I love what you're doing," they support the content and all this, and I'm like, man, that affirmation, it means everything. It's the fuel. It lets me know I'm doing a good thing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I have to continue to do what I'm doing because it's working. Like these men, like they have respect for me and they're better than me. Like I'm not special. I never said I was. People talk all this shit. I sit here and laugh. You got fucking fruitcakes with sock puppet accounts hiding behind troll accounts, got fake avatars, and they're talking shit about me and like how I look. I'm like, bro, I would never want to be you on any level. But I have men, mulatto men, self-respecting. They got their own shit going on for themselves. And they take the time out of their day to message me and say, hey man, thank you for what you're doing. I love what you're doing. Like that's for man to man, like that's the motivation for me. I know I'm doing something good. That's what is the assurance. We check boxes that do not reflect who we are. That disconnect leads to confusion and pain. When your identity is erased, your voice is silenced. When your identity is erased, your voice is silenced. And they try to do everything they can to marginalize you. And what they often do is say, well, we're all mixed. We're all black at the end of the day. They'll try to they'll try to threaten you and say, like, well, the police are going to see you as black. Well, all black people are mixed. We're all mixed at the end of the day, but we're all black at the end of the day. Like that's what they do to try to marginalize you and silence you. They try to convince you to shut up. Don't speak about issues that pertain to you. Only they can speak about issues that pertains to them, about being dark skinned and how they just want to make sure their white massa is comfortable. That they're okay with that. But when it's you, they want to silence you, silence your voice. It's just real shit. This censorship and mulatto erasure, mulatto censorship, the shadow banning of the word mulatto. This is very real. Like I said, that's why they hate me. It has nothing to do about me being a bad person or anything illegal or unethical that I'm doing. It's none of that. It's the fact that I'm giving mulattoes a voice. And you have anti-mulattoes who can capitalize off confused mulattoes and use them as proxies and tools to try to neutralize me. Ineffective, hasn't worked forever. It's never going to work. But they'll still try. There's still these kind of, quote unquote crash test dummies. That's the terminology they use. They still try, but they end up kind of fading out. Recognizing mulattoes formally would validate our experiences and ease the mental burden placed on us by outdated racial models. Outdated racial models, yeah. They're still trying to play this kind of black and white shit when it's like, well, you got these like Mexicans and Hispanics, they're their own entity. Even when Filipinos come to America, they don't lump them in with Mexicans. They don't lump Filipinos in with East Indians or Arabs or whites or blacks. They're their own thing. You notice that with all these, and a lot of these Filipinos, most like I would see, they're mixed. Most of them, they're different configuration. They're like Chinese and indigenous Philippines, and they got Spanish ancestry. So they got some European Spanish ancestry, like, but they're mixed. An Asian group. Like, but they're respected, their autonomy. They don't trample over their identity and try to marginalize them like they try to do with mulattoes. They try to sucker and punk you mulattoes because of your inability to network and establish cohesion with other mulattoes. Then they start realizing, oh shit, well, hey, we're going to hold you accountable. Yeah, we're watching you now. Yeah, we're watching you. We're watching. We're going to strategize. We're watching you. We're establishing a database. Yeah, we're going to hold you accountable now. See, they think they can just punk these mulattoes forever. That's what they seriously think. That's why that's why the sentiments are out here. They think they can bully you into submission and punk you forever. But when you bite back, they act like it's the worst wound. Oh my God, you're anti-black. Mulatto Vanguard, you're anti-black. Once you bite back, they act like it's like, oh my God, you bit their fucking arm off. They act so scared once you match their energy. That's the thing that gets me. It's like they really want to like try to bark at you and try to like test you, but you match the energy and boom, right up in front of their face. And then they cry racism and anti-black racism and colorism. They throw all the isms out there and try to like, whoa, like you started this shit with me. You didn't get the results you wanted. You got fucking checked, homie. And now all of a sudden, you're like, you want to play the victim card. See, that's some hoe shit, man. I hate that. That type of like behavior. It's so immature. Like when you want to act tough, you get fucking punked, and then you want to like act like all like scared and brand new. And what? They try that with mulattoes though. See, that's the thing. They're going to be more upset in the future. Like I was saying, these younger mulattoes, that's why I laugh and always get a giggle and smile, because I already knew these newer mulattoes, they're not going to bow down to fucking Bantus. It's not like these Xers and boomers and all this stuff. They're not going to try to mix in with you and just be a subordinate and be a part. No, they're going to do their own shit and they're going to push back hard. I already knew this before I jumped up here on social media. I would see some of the conversations and banter back and forth on the blogosphere. I already knew, yeah, these newer mulattoes, they're not as public as I am right now. But you just watch. Planting the seeds. In the next several years, you're gonna see they're not gonna be as nice. And they're gonna be more effective and more active than me. I'm just up here late at night, like, what's up? What's up with the chat? What's up with you guys? I'll get back to your comments. Let me finish this. Terms like biracial and mixed race are too broad, and that's why for me the mulatto that adds a layer of specificity that you can't even basically argue. Like they'll just say it's a bad word, use another word. Biracial, no, we're not going to use biracial. It's too fluid, it can mean anything. We already know black people who are mixed black and black, they're going to say they're biracial because they got 2% Irish blood, they're going to say they're biracial. We already know how the game works with you guys. So now we're good. We're using mulatto. See, because it's very specific. And she puts, they lump us in with people of Asian, white, Latino, black, and other combinations. Yeah, that's what the whole mixed race category. When they talk about multiracial, now I'll use that as well for like marketing. I'll tag biracial or mixed race or multiracial. Obviously, like with the marketing for a broader network and audience of other mixed people. I'm mulatto, as if you haven't already, if you can't tell already. So obviously, specifically, I'm speaking from my experiences and my reality, my existence. But I do put the hashtag multiracial or biracial, which includes all these other groups. And she puts here Asian white, which would be Hapa. Yeah. And I shared something with the Hapa, social media page over on Instagram the other day because we're late at night. We're like super early in the morning right now. But yeah, it's, I think Becoming Hapa, I think is their name. I don't recall the name. It's ran by two ladies, Hapa ladies. They created, and I sent a message to the lady. I shared something with her, and I always share stuff with them whenever I find something that's Hopper related because it's if it comes across my page, I just basically kind of maneuver the information to the right, source, if I can say that. Something came across my page which was Hopper related. I just kind of sent it to them, and she thanked me, and I was like, "No, thank you. I appreciate the fact that they're creating a page for representation for Hopper people, and they have the Hopper issues forum." But yeah, I acknowledge they're not the same as us. A Hopper is not the same as a mulatto. I get that. I've from day one, I've always said that. And I love that and respect that and appreciate that they're unique. Like there's something different about them. They're unique. Very good looking people. I think it's complementary, as I think European Africans complementary, the Asian Europeans complementary. They're different than us. So, but we should not be lumped in with them. I agree with we're not a mulatto. That's been my stance from day one. We're unique. We're not victims. I'm not positioning ourselves as being victims. We're different. I can say the broader term multiracial groups, the mulatto versus the Hapa in this instance. So let me continue on putting here. She puts here, those are valid identities, but they are not our identity. Yeah, our identity is mulatto. Mulatto specifically refers to people of European African heritage, which is us, me and Renata Mulatta. That distinction matters culturally, historically, and medically. Yeah. I love how she puts the scientific emphasis here with medically. When it comes time to receiving medical treatment and bone marrow transplant or donors, yeah, it's going to matter if you need a mulatto donor or not. Yeah, you're not going to be able to rely on a black person because they're not the same race as us. You need a mulatto if you need that bone marrow transplant. And culturally, yeah, historically, the ramifications, did they have laws that were anti, say white and Arab or white and Asian? Did they have laws that were against white and Latino? No, because they've offered assimilation for them. It's not the same. And there's other spaces, other pages in social media. I can say even mixed race faces, they have a pretty large platform, but that's because that's their whole brand is like, well, everyone's the same. You're a mixed race, right? But then, okay, when it comes time for, I mean, medically, you want your bone marrow transplant. Come to find out, you're not going to be able to get a transplant from those people, but you're all mixed race. Oh, interesting. Like, you know, but so there's no specificity there. And that's the thing. Like, and I love the fact that these people are finding their voices and stuff. And I love that. But it's the mulatto is ultra specific and the historically. And what I'm saying, I want to piggyback off that, rewind because these other groups, these other mixed race configurations, I'm not saying we're the biggest victims, but they don't have the same baggage as us. within the United States, this competition between white and black. Like as Renata Mulatta has stated throughout this entire article, we're almost basically done reading it, but as I've already stated, you guys will check it out for yourself, read it. Where it's like there's historical baggage here where it's like we're kind of quote unquote caught in the middle, stuck in the middle. As I always say, I'd rather be stuck in the middle, or stuck at the bottom. But regardless, we're kind of stuck in a place where it's like these two groups are fighting. And we're kind of there sitting there trying to make sense of it all in this reality. Like, well, shit, we were born and brought into this world. We didn't realize this crap was going on. We're just existing, right? So the historical context is significant with us, with mulattoes, our history in the United States. We have a history. It's significant with us. That's our history that people want to blackwash, erase the racist Anglos. They want to erase it. And that's the issue. Historically, there's a distinction with us. And culturally, we're developing this mulatto culture. We're in the infantile stage, but it's working out for us over here. So continuing on, she puts healthcare systems often fail to consider our unique genetic makeup. For instance, finding compatible bone marrow donors can be harder for mulattoes due to our mixed ancestry. Recognizing us properly can improve donor matching and save lives. Exactly. That's the thing. When we start to group up in some mulattoes, and that's the thing. It's going to be so much easier to find a match for a bone marrow donor. Once they start throwing in all this other stuff and they throw in this gay stuff, because that's what it's all about. When they mix it all up with these other identities, and then it becomes like a kind of a gay feminist type of thing, and they pretend to be mulatto, but it's really that's what happens, and everything gets mixed up, and you don't find the answers you're looking for or solutions to the problems. That's the important thing, because as the men, it's our job to provide solutions. That's what it is we provide solutions to the problems, analyze, observe the problem, identify the problem. Next step, find a solution. It's the men have to be focused on solution based. And with this healthcare thing, it's very obvious. It's very easy to fix. Like we got to just group up mulattoes with mulattoes. What's It's so easy to solve this, and that's what I'm doing here. You guys have found my page. We have already a pool of people who are valid candidates, so to speak. If they choose to be donors, that's on them. But you guys are here tuning in, listening. You guys are the match. You're the solution. You're the solution you're looking for. You didn't know you are the solution, right? Okay, healthcare systems often fail to consider our unique genetic makeup. Recognizing us properly could improve donor matching and save lives. The same applies to mental health. Forcing people into ill-fitting racial boxes is a direct cause of depression, anxiety, and self-alienation. Yes, we want better representation in media as well. Mulattoes are rarely portrayed accurately. We often see with mulattoes, they'll place like in the advertisement. It's very common to see mulattoes with other groups of people. You'll see a mulatto man with like a non-mulatto partner, and vice versa. It's so common. We see you go on Google, people have done, other mulattoes have done like kind of tests on this on TikTok or Google. They've shown where you can type in like African American couple, or you can type in black couple on Google. I could probably even do it right now just as a test. Like, let me see what pops up. I'm just doing it privately first. I can do like black couple, and then you find a mulatto female with a black male, you know? And you're like, let me do that. Let me share my screen and so you guys see what I'm talking about. That's not representation for mulattoes. That's not mulatto representation. That's representation for black males and mulatto females, like the whole Kendrick Lamar crowd. Okay. And then you mulatto men, you're sitting there like, well, wait, how did this happen? You put black couple, a lot of these couples are black, but then you look at this one here, right? That's no, they're not even the same. No, they got a woman who's clearly does not have full black ancestry with a dark skinned black guy. That's just one picture. Other people have talked about this before. Let me see if I can find something else before I move on. For the most part, with this little Google search, I put black couple. They've done a good job. These are black couples. So yeah, they've done a good job. But then you look at this picture, we're like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe so. So they've actually done a good job here. Maybe I'm just talking out my rear end, or maybe not. Like I said, other people have brought this to my attention before. I've seen some videos, but right now, live impromptu, I think for the most part, I'm looking at these Google images. These are black people, women and males. So I can't really say anything about that. Let me just move on and with this article and then get to your guys' comments. So the whole thing is representation. Representation in media. We desperately need that. We desperately need that. So we are either tokenized as black or ignored as white. We need stories that reflect the full spectrum of who we are, our struggles, our beauty, our resilience. Exactly. They have to talk about our resilience in a hostile environment and how we persevere and grow from this. That's the thing, that resilience is very important. I like that word. We are not background characters. And I love how she puts this, because this is really what you see. Like, they look at us as like we're supposed to be background characters, like to help, like supporting actors to help everyone else, the main characters, which is supposed to be dark skinned black, right? They want all the representation. If you don't put them in the center of everything, you're a colorist, you're anti-black racist, you're a featurist, texturist. You see, you have to put them in the center of everything. And you, the light skinned mulatto man, you're just supposed to be in the background, supporting character. We're like, how the hell did this happen, bro? And you guys accept it. Like, I don't accept it. That's why I'm the bad guy, right? Because I don't accept it. But if you accept it, you could be the good guy. Does it pay to be the good guy today? If that's the case, if you want to be mocked and just ignored and reduced to irrelevancy in society, I don't, to me, I don't accept that. I just do not accept that reality. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, I love how she worded it, where it's like, we are not background characters, because it's literally they want to maneuver you as if you're supposed to be in the background while they get all the shine. They want you to think that's acceptable. That's the crazy part. Well, you got light skin privilege. I don't want to take, I covered this before on my channel, where you had this Mulatta lady. She's from Canada, you know, but yeah, whatever. And this lady, like, she was sitting there talking about, well, I didn't want to take this job because that job could go to a dark skinned black female. And you have these mulattas in Hollywood talking that shit, you know. Zendaya is one of them, but you have some other one from the UK talking that, well, I don't want to take that job because it needs to go to a dark skinned black female and like I'm not deserving of it. I'm like, only you guys do that crap. You know that, right? Everyone else, they don't fall into this altruistic position of being a subordinate. Everyone else just takes their advantages where they get it. It's only these mulattoes who are guilt tripped into that sucker shit. Oh, I don't, my darker skin brothers and sisters, they're being underrepresented, mistreated. Give them positions so they can get more money. And then this mulatto, you know, I don't know, man. I'm not for that. I'm sorry. Anything that's beneficial that comes our way, that's positive, that's a benefit to society, we have to utilize that and embrace that. No two ways about it. We need stories that reflect the full spectrum of who we are, our struggles, our beauty, our resilience. We're not background characters. We are a growing population with a unique voice. Accurate Representation also impacts data. When policymakers fail to see us clearly, they fail to serve us effectively. That's the main thing right there. We're going to get more into that later on as this channel grows. Restoring the mulatto identity improves the accuracy of demographic data and leads to better laws, better healthcare, very important laws, healthcare, and better educational outcomes. Because a lot of mulattoes fall into the foster care system, a lot of mulattoes fall into the mental health system and behavioral healthcare system, and a lot of mulattoes get a shitty deal, and there's no answers provided to them. Well, what happened? Why are we here? Why are we seeing these issues? And we got to be our own best advocates. It's on us. It's on us. I'm one guy doing my thing out here, but it's on all of us. You guys listen to me. Whatever influence or whatever field you're in, be that representative for the future mulattoes in that field. If you work in nursing or healthcare or mental health, be that representative. We need more of you guys out here advocating for the future. Mulattoes did not choose to exist in a monoracial world. We were born into it, but we are here. We're not going away. We're not going anywhere. We deserve a name, a space, and a future that reflects all of who we are. This is our identity. This is our truth. This is our time. Love it. Shout out to Renata Mulatta. Guys, I have the article pinned and linked in the description. Check out her Substack. Follow her over on Substack. I really love her articulation. It's just completely spot on. Let me get through some of your guys' comments before I close things out. Like I said, late night creep. And for the replay gang, shout out to you guys. But for all you guys here, man, shout out to you guys. You guys are the real MVPs. You guys hanging out with me this late. Shout out to you. We got some soundbite here. Haven't done this in a minute.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yeah, got something for you guys. Shout out to you guys who are here. Let me check out these comments real quick and then close it out. Rex Jones, shout out to Vale. Always showing support. A lot of love for you. Philip Scott, people love to call white people dem folks. Yeah, he's kind of stupid. He's married to a white Mexican lady. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, dem folks. And I saw he uploaded a video, like a debate with Charlie Kirk, and he put like in the title or the thumbnail, like FBA man is challenging, this guy, this white guy, FBA man, who's on the FBA grift, and it's Philip Scott, he's married to a Mexican chick, bro. Like, and black people still like fall for that crap. Like, they talk black but sleep white. It's like they love the whole victim narrative identity. Like I'm saying with you guys, my thing over here, we're not victims. I'm not pushing this. No. I've had a very privileged lifestyle. So much so when I went to Ghana, like and I went to an orphanage, like donating like supplies and stuff. Wherever I go, I'm so thankful, man. Even when I go to Europe, I'm like, damn, I'm proud I'm American. Like I'm happy wherever I go in the world. And I love to explore. I love connecting with people in Europe, in South America, and Caribbean, Africa, wherever I go. Like I love people. I love cultures. I'm connected to the human when I want to say this, like I'm connected to other humans of different cultures and identities. So I consider myself to be that type of person, a worldly person. But I love America. Like this is my country, my home. And when I travel abroad and I go to their places, I'm like, sometimes I can't wait to come back home. I'm just like, yeah, I'm familiar here. I know how to navigate this society. I know how to get what I want in this society. I see how the game is. I know how to get the best deal for what I got going on. Could it be better? Of course. Could I have more money? Of course. Could I have hotter chicks, right? As a dude? Of course. I could have everything better, but everything's working out perfectly for me. I just have no complaints. So I'm very grateful for that. And I think about that. So I don't know where I was getting at with all that, but yeah, Philip Scott, he talks about dem folks, but he's married to a white Mexican chick. Yeah, go figure. I feel like they should make a new term for the word in the future, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not denying my full identity for anyone's perceived comfort. Yeah, yeah, good point. Trevor Noah acted pro-black, and he was talking about how much he loved black women and the things black women does for him, but all the women he dates is white women. Yeah, that's like a grifter pander shit. I don't know. He's pro-black, black women, but he dates white chicks. Yeah, yeah, it's a political type of thing. Because they were saying that about Barack Obama, that all the chicks he was dealing with were all white chicks, but he married Michelle Obama to help him out with his image for his political career. It's funny because I saw some type of news not too long ago that there could be a potential divorce between Obama and Michelle, which I think would be probably one of the first occurrences in history as far as like a president and first lady publicly divorcing. A lot of times these people, they stay together to the end, right? You think of George Bush and all these other, even the Kennedys. I know the tragic ending with the Kennedys, but typically with, these presidents, when you're the most powerful man in the world, there's going to be some type of like infidelity, right? When you're a man of power and status, and like these kings and queen, or kings specifically, and emperors around the planet, and yeah, they have a queen, they have a partner, but the big but, like, there's infidelity with these men of power. They have access to whatever they want. So like that's the thing with like his Barack Obama. I heard something about potential divorce, something out there right there, but yeah, he said Trevor, he did that for his political career. The people are saying all of his women, he messed with her white chicks, but he got with Michelle. She's college educated, good look for him. They saw him and Michelle, and they look good together. Whatever, she supports him. They look better together, I think, than like that George Bush Senior, or excuse me, George Bush Jr. and his partner. They kind of look goofy, and even even with what's this guy, the current president, you know, the current placeholder. They got Donald Trump and Melania, who is like a model or something, or people are calling her a porn star. I don't know, maybe because she did some nude modeling or something, but whatever. She's a model. But I'm looking at her, this European import, you know, and this pro-American, right, married to a non-American, Donald Trump, and I'm like, they kind of look more awkward. I think Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, they look more complimentary, but whatever. He did that for his political situation to gain favor with the public. And that's what you see with Trevor Noah with this pro-black stuff, right? He loves black women, the black queens, and even like with his name, Kendrick Lamar, same shit. Kendrick Lamar was trying to say Drake doesn't like black women. But then Kendrick Lamar is going on tour with SZA, who I think she was dating Drake. And he was on stage at the Super Bowl with Serena Williams, who Drake was dating. She's a black woman. And like, so Kendrick Lamar is trying to say Drake doesn't like black women, but yet he brought up two women, SZA and Serena Williams, who were dating Drake. So it's like the guy is a complete ass and a fraud and told on himself there. They lie, that's the thing. They're panders, and Kendrick Lamar trying to say Drake, the biracial man, doesn't like black women, but yet he's like his baby mama's biracial. He didn't even marry a black woman. You see these frauds and hypocrites who say that crap. These panders. Same thing I'm suspecting, yeah, with this Trevor Noah guy. He dates all these white chicks, but he wants to pander to black women. Yeah. Yeah, they date all these mixed chicks, but then they pander to black women like Umar, and look at Tariq Nasheed, another one, just like Kendrick Lamar, Tariq Nasheed, biracial baby mama, but yet they pander to black women. This has been going on for a while. Why should mulattoes hide and put on a mask, pretend to be something we are not, only to receive the Kamala Harris treatment? Yeah, once they're done using you, they're gonna tell you. Yeah. they never approved of you once they can't get what they want from you. Incel white supremacist is afraid of Jews making black men take white women away from them. But that's what they complain. That's what they cry about. But everyone's getting these chicks. That's the thing. Though the women, it's an open marketplace. It doesn't matter if these women, because the Asian boys are crying about the same thing. Isn't that what blacks are crying about? Their women, the black manosphere. Everyone has access to the women. Like that's the thing of all races. The Latinos, the same situation. Like the women, everyone has access to the ladies. You just put yourself out there. You can connect with them. That's what I don't understand. Like they're blaming the Jews. Like that's a convenient scapegoat. Like they have to find somebody to blame for why they're not competitive in society. It's the same blacks. The blacks blame mulattoes. It's the light skins. The whites are using these mulattoes against us, right? And that's what the blacks say. But then you have the whites, and they'll say the Jews are using, the blacks against them or mulattoes against them. See, they always cry and complain because they can't get pussy. You put here incel, but it's like it's a global marketplace around the planet. Whatever you want, it's available. You can go get it. It's so much easier now to travel. And like you get a passport, you get some dollars, get some money, figure out the visa requirement, and just go do your thing. I don't understand. Like it's so easy to get what you want out here in society, and people still act like there's this grand conspiracy for them not to be able to connect with people. How is it that I'm able to connect with all these mulattoes and like, with minimal effort? Which is such a niche minority group, but this is my people, this is my group. This is what I live for. But for me, like I'm not putting a whole bunch of effort into it. To a degree, I guess I am talking to you guys right now, but I could do a lot more. I know I could, but I'm just like the rest of you guys. You know, have other stuff going on. Yep, that's why I don't use ebonics. I took notice of how after forcing Kamala to identify as black, they turned on her, claiming they were bamboozled when she couldn't maintain the mask, while liberals demonize her coddling blacks. Yeah, you can't win. If you're a mulatto, or even for her, who's like a mixed person, multiracial, you're trying to caping, coddle them and represent them, you're not going to be able to win. And for Kamala, I think Amber Rose pointed it out perfectly. I agree with her on a couple takes, especially with Amber Rose for her Drake take. She defends the biracial man, so I got love and respect for her, Amber Rose, for that. But she talked about with Kamala where she kind of messed up is like she wanted to pretend to kind of be black one moment, then she switched it up and said, "Oh, she's Indian, right?" You see, she did a press release with her cooking with one of these Indian television personalities, like she switches it up too much. And I'm from California, guys, and I voted for Kamala for the Senate seat. This was several years ago. I think this was the 2018 election, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys can correct me. I was living in California at that time. It was a Senate seat, and she was a district attorney. So she was like connected with all the powerful people in that whole Silicon Valley, Bay Area, Northern California. Very powerful political figures in not only California, who control California politics, but that's the United States and thus by global politics. So Kamala's from that area, and she went against a careered senior politician, the senator who's been the senator for over a decade, I believe, Loretta Sanchez, because her sister was a representative. She was in politics as well. The Sanchez sisters had a lot of political clout with the Latino caucus and politics in California. And Kamala won. She won, and I voted for her. I'll admit, as a senator, she was the first quote unquote black, senator in California. She's not black, but whatever. She went with that. But I saw after that, she went with all that. She was like pro LGBT, pro illegals, all this stuff. Like her whole campaign strategy switched after she won because I followed her on Facebook with the whole campaign. I voted for her to be a senator in California. And I followed her, man, and her social media. The day after she won, she shared something her soul or whatever her campaign people This is 2018, guys. So this is a minute ago. And she like pro LGBT, pro illegal. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't vote for you for all this. Excuse my French, guys, but I was sitting there like, you know, she's a flip flopper. She's a, the thing is like kind of a chameleon. Okay, she's a career politician. She's a pretty lady, even for her age. I think everyone can give her that. Kamala's attractive for sure. Very powerful. Like she's ambitious. One of the most ambitious women in politics in the world. For her ability to rise to power, her ascension in such a short amount of time. Like I voted for her in California. She was a district attorney and she got to the Senate seat. Then she ran for presidency. Her campaign failed. The Democratic Party selected her to be VP and Biden won. She became the vice president. Like she succeeded a lot and she grew a lot compared to any other politician I've seen. Because remember, they talk about Donald Trump. He's supposed to be some, outsider. He's not. Donald Trump ran for the presidency back in like 2000, 20 years ago. They try to act like he's a spring chicken. He's not even a politician. He's a businessman. He had 5 multiple bankruptcies, but he's a smart businessman. All these dumbass, MAGA people try to act like Donald Trump's not a career politician. The guy ran for office in the year 2000. So how are you not a career poet? He's not a spring chicken. He's been involved in politics. He's just been behind the scenes. That's what they don't want to admit. He's been strategizing behind the scenes. Let's move forward with this. I don't want to talk politics really, just want to get with this mulatto stuff and kind of finish it out. Whites are afraid of mixed race people replacing them. And even during slavery in Haiti, rich whites don't want free mixed races people to have rights during slavery because they don't want to be replaced. You're a Jamaican, right? You're Caribbean. So you're bringing your perspective there. Interesting. I want mulatto mountain back. Blacks don't like the outdoors. Damn, you're bold like that, huh? But you're Mulatta, and I got a lot of love for you. So you get a pass. You can slide. Don't give me a pass, the people there, because they love to kind of pin me to the wall. Mulatto Vanguard, you're anti-black. You don't like biracial women that got black baby daddies. I don't care. Like it's not my business who you chicks are messing with. I've never like there's no audio out here telling me like that. I don't care. It's not my business. Like I just know like you want to be absorbed into that community. My whole thing is telling them have fun. Like they follow me, they watch my content, they follow me and they watch me, and then they're like surprised. I'm like, well, damn, like you want to be black, so you get a black guy and start a family with them. It doesn't work out, and then you look to the mixed guy, and I'm like, well, what the hell? I don't know if I can help you out, like, and there's too many ladies out here, there's too many chicks. Like, well, what the hell? You can sit here and paint me as like the bad guy. Of course, I'm not talking about you, Bunny Strange. I got nothing but love for you. Sorry, let me finish the comment. I kind of got sidetracked. No, I agree with you. We need the mulatto mountain back, right? And you put that's white people stuff. I love hiking, camping, being outdoors. Me too. I was a Boy Scout as a kid, and that's what kind of helped me appreciate the great outdoors. We can say, right, the great outdoors. Going camping at a young age, going hiking, camping, pitching a tent. Yeah, grew up in that culture. So for sure, I'm with you there. That sounds cool. I like outdoor activities, camping, long range shooting, and deep sea fishing for sure. Ebonics is for the low IQ. Belgium did takes thousands of mixed race kids from Congo and hide them, send them off to orphans because they would be a threat to Belgium. Also, Belgium did a mixed race people, Métis. Yeah, I'm gonna do more research into that. There's a lady who I've connected with. I did a couple videos with her on my other channel, like live streams. I think only one of them I published publicly. The one of the other ones I've never like published because it was for me, it was controversial. We were talking about this stuff with this lady. I never publicly published it, conversation we had. But she's like in some of these spaces and stuff, and she's kind of connected. So, and she has a lot of research, and she's you know, dug into this kind of discussion with the whole mixed race people in the Congo, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, because this is a Belgium lady from Belgium, so Belgiumese, so she understands some stuff there. So yeah, more on that later. I'm gonna look more into that. Appreciate the comment. These pro wax want credit for everything. Yeah, they are the original people, they say. Now you have some so-called pro-blacks who voted for Trump want Obama to be president again. Yeah, it's weird. Never gonna happen. I can tell you they will call everyone colonizers if they are not dating anyone who's black. Crazy. Yeah. And shout out to Light Skin History, because he, like, I like some of the phrasing he does. Like, he says something about like guilt tripping to get pussy. He says something like that, where it's like a lot of them, they mastermind that. They guilt trip some of these people to deal with them, right? Oh, if you don't want to deal with me, you're a colorist or you're a racist or you don't want, they guilt trip people. But let's be real, man. Only the weak people fall for that stuff, man. I don't understand how that's effective, how someone can guilt you to like them. I talked about this story like over a year ago, a while ago. Cause yeah. Like I remember I was at a strip club once, and it was a dark skinned chick and she wasn't attractive at all. But she tried to kind of like guilt trip me into like liking her. It was so pathetic. I felt pity for her. I was like, I just don't like you. I don't want to dance from you. I'm not a mean guy. I'm not gonna be mean to you. I mean, some people tell you I'm mean, I guess. I don't know. But to this lady, this woman, I was just like, you're just not my type. I think she was upset because I was talking to her friend who was black, but she was the cute one. And it's just, yeah, she tried to like guilt me into liking her. And like that's the type of energy where like, yeah, they'll sit there and say, you're a colonizer. You don't want to deal with me, you're a colonizer. Let me move on because yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble for that comment. And also calls everything colonizers. Yeah. Being monoracial will not save you from being ostracized from a group. It will just be for a reason, not based on race. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. They'll ostracize you for something else, for being inadequate, not making the cut, not performing. But for the race thing, when you're ostracized from a group, like I said, with like a lot of the Bantus, like, see, they look at you, Bunny, or me, they'll look at us and say we're mulatto. So they'll try to kick us out of the tribe. They'll ostracize us for our genetic makeup. And they'll lie. They lie and deny it. They lie through their teeth and deny it all along. But that's why you're over here, Bunny, as a woman, mulatto woman, And I know too. Like there's seriously resentment they have towards us regardless of how they feel. We're here, we're connecting, we have to build from this. That's the whole point. It's going to be beyond this whole trauma bonding type of thing or echo chamber, because they'll try to shame us from having our own spaces, even though they have their own spaces, and cry colorism and featureism, right? That's okay. But when you and me get together, we have our own spaces. See, they're going to try to shame us. So we got to be aware of that. But yeah, nah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Like they played a race card with us to try to outgroup us, but with them and their groups, it's usually performance based or something, right? The black versus white in America is what sells. Yeah, that's what sells, right? And we're not getting any money from that. And that's the whole point. Like it's okay if they don't like each other. I don't even care. Like I'm saying, like I saw this situation with this guy and happened in Texas in this high school. They were meeting on a field somewhere and one guy got stabbed and he died, sadly. And like they're praising this guy, the other side, they're saying this guy's a victim. And I'm neutral. I don't post any comments. Someone in one of my personal Facebook group shared that story, and I had to politely remind them, hey, this is a mulatto group. If the material is not centered around mulattoes, please can you share that somewhere else? And they understand. I got good people around me. And yeah, like we have to basically, how do I want to say this? Yeah, man, I'm lost for words. Like this whole thing, because the black and white thing, like, we're not benefiting from it. And for me, like with what I'm doing in social media, and like I said, this Facebook group, I'm like, if we're not benefiting or learning from it, it's pointless for us to really cover it. Some one guy argued with me about, oh, it really is, about us, and we got to stay focused. I just ignored his comment. This older mulatto dude, whatever. I don't care. If it's not centered us and we're not making money off of it, like the whole point you put here is like they it sells in America, black and white, and they're the beneficiaries. They have GoFundMe's. The black guy who stabbed the other guy, he's making what, $100,000, and the white guy who is a victim, his family has a GoFundMe. They make $100,000. The mulatto doesn't get a penny, and we're out here. Why are we even worried about this stuff? I'm not. I don't give a damn about any of those people. They're not like, no, we're not getting anything out of it. So for us to get worked up about it and to pick a side, and I've shared some stuff over on like TikTok because I point out the hypocrisy where there's whites who are white nationalists specifically who are complaining and crying because the black uh, perpetrator or suspect, whatever term you want to use, his side, they're able to generate all this money. But I'm like, these are the same people who are pro, Kyle Rittenhouse. You guys remember Kyle Rittenhouse? They raised all this money for him. Even he had George Zimmerman. He had like the gun he used to delete Trayvon Martin. He would go to like trade shows and bring his gun, and people would take pictures with him with his gun. That's how sick those people are, and they'd raise money and support that shit and spend money on it. But see, when it's a black guy, then they want to cry and they want to be victims just like blacks. And I kind of troll some of these Angelos because I laugh at them. Like, you're so weak today to be in that position. You want to act just like them. And you see, you got the mulattoes who are sitting here looking at it like, we're not trying to act like any of you. We're just doing our own shit over here. And we are. That's what I'm saying. With this situation, I'm neutral on that. We're not making any money off all that. We don't benefit from it. Okay. Because they come together to fight and they destroy each other. And then they come together and they create and they make more of us. Now we have to be on the receiving end to where we can benefit from that, to make it where it's self sustaining. We can thrive and prosper. That's it. That's it. Now, they want to make it so where you're neutralized and you don't get paid. You don't get no money. Okay. They want you to maneuver you as a subordinate. Well, they have all these back deals and all. Nah, it's all public theater. They all work together on the same team to neutralize us. The Texas situation is causing a lot of racial tension online. Yeah, it's all online banter. Behind the scenes, they all work together. The Bantus, Anglos, they all work together. See, they don't want the mulatto men to realize what time it is. Andrew Tate's mother was mixed race, and his father was black. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't see any evidence of that. You put, yes, the racial tension U.S. is at a dangerous levels at present. Have her on as a guest. You talk about Renata Mulatta. I've noticed the black community likes putting down the Latino community. Guess it makes them feel good about their self. Yeah, the black community, I don't know. I guess you're Latino. Maybe they can speak for themselves. I don't speak for the black community. I'm not a part of the black community. So I don't speak for them, right? Some of these blacks are nostalgic for the 90s hip hop era. Damn, I guess that's a part of me, man. I don't know about that because I'm a 90s kid and I like 90s hip hop. So I don't know. When America saw that culture cool, when presently America and all ethnicities have reached maximum black fatigue, yeah. I'm a 90s kid. I'm a little biased. On my personal accounts, it's all like, not all, but it's primarily like 90s focused. My personal. Yeah. Because I'm a millennial dude, so it's all the 90s stuff. So I like 90s hip hop, but yeah, I don't know if they're focused on that. These older cats. Because with the younger cats, it's all pro dark skinned male, Kendrick Lamar, pro light skinned female, right? But the thing is, when the female becomes a baby mama and she has buyer's remorse, and then she like finds like mixed race spaces and she finds guys like me, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, what do you expect from a guy like me? What do you want me to do? Like, it's crazy. I don't get it. I do not get it. Like, you want to fit in with them, like, have fun. Because I see these women, I don't say anything, I leave them alone. Because there's more of that type than anything that I see. That like black baby daddy and pro black now, they're black identified. You got black kids, I get it. You got black kids, you help. Your main focus should be them. Okay. And but then they're still kind of, they have like their foot in the mixed space and stuff. And I don't get it. I really do not get it. Especially with a guy like me. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, you kind of chose the route you want to go towards. Like, embrace that. And all respect to you. That's just not the route I'm on. That's not what I'm doing over here. Don't even try to get in their black and brown coalition. They'll use you as puppets like white people do. If you are a light skinned black, please join in with the mixed mulatto team. We are good looking people. Don't come to South Dakota. Never have you seen so many poor, unfortunate looking white people beat with the ugly stick since birth. South Dakota. Just sub to your channel. I find it interesting learning about mulatto history in America. No problem. You're doing a great job. They race hustle their way to success on these apps. Tariq Nasheed is a perfect example. Yeah, Tariq Nasheed is pretty deplorable, huh? Ain't nothing shaking but the peas in the pot, and they wouldn't be shaken and the water wouldn't hot. Black conservatives are just happy TikTokers acknowledge them so they can make these videos baiting. There's a guy, I'm not going to mention his name. He's a TikToker, and he's a black guy. He talks a lot of shit on black people. And he's a black guy. And I saw a video today. A couple of his videos I liked. I liked a couple of his videos. But then I kind of realized today I saw a video pop up. Like, this guy's a grifter, man. Like, in I don't know, it shows up on my algorithm, and I don't think I follow the guy, but he's got a lot of views. I saw he has like not hundreds, he has tens of thousands of likes, and he has all these comments. I'm like, but you're a black dude just talking shit about black people, bro. How is that like passed off and you get like all these views and shit? I don't get it, man. And it's like, I get it. He's saying the same crap over and over. Like, I saw a couple of his videos. I was like, yeah, I agree with your takes. There's no accountability. That's the main thing with them. That they always blame someone else for their problems. It's the mulattoes, and you got a white mom. They're always blaming someone else for why they're fucking losers. I'm not saying all of them, but the ones who cry the most, I'm talking about them. They blame mulattoes, like, and that's the thing. And they're pushing this whole anti-white woman crap, and it's like, there's no accountability. So I don't know. This black conservative grifter guy. It's like, you're telling us everything we already heard, man. Like, at this point, like, you're just looking for like a white audience or something. I don't know. To me, it's stupid. You're black and you're talking crap about your own race and shit, and you're getting all these views. Whatever, man. You say you see blacks that don't identify with hood culture scrambling all over social media trying to make a distinction. Don't gaslight yourself. I have seen black content creators use a mulatta in their thumbnails when talking about black issues. Yeah, that's their preference. You be playing video games. I don't play any video games. I don't play any of that stuff. Nope, not me. I play the guitar. I don't play video games. If you're not a black savior, crusader, you are anti-black. You hit the nail on the head. That's what it is. If you're not bowing down to them, butt kissing them, you're anti-black. To me, it doesn't matter. What are they gonna do? They're gonna complain to white people. Some of these whites who are paying me money, they're gonna cry to them, he's anti-black. You know, that's all they have. The false allegations, the smear campaigns, destroy your credibility. Same shit they're doing with Drake. And step number two is, yeah, just try to fuck up your money. Cry to their white massa and say, stop giving him money. He's anti-black. You need to hire this dark-skinned, fat black lesbian to make things equal. Like, that's basically this is where they're at today. This is where they're at. Yeah, yeah. I like Renata Mulatta. Renata Mulatta is one of my favorite people over here. Yeah, Andrew Tate does have a white mom. I don't know what these other people are saying, but shout out to you guys. I've been here for a minute. Guys, hit the like button. Okay, kind of just hopped up here and talked a bit. Wasn't the most wasn't my best performance. I get that. But regardless, doesn't matter. You guys are here listening. That's the point. You guys are connecting. I got Bunny Trixel Strange, who's been here for a minute. I think even you hopped on my panel once, Bunny, and you said you've been following me from the beginning. I don't remember like the date. You said you've been following me for a minute. So like I said, I got people like you, mulattas and mulattoes who like the message, and that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do. Is because you guys have a voice now. That's the thing. You guys have a voice. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't let people lie to you and trick you. You're not alone. We're here for you. And especially you see a guy like me, you know how to find me. You know how to connect with me. You're not alone. My goal here is to let people know you're not alone. We have a tribe. We have a community, a mulatto community. We're here now. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys next time. And yeah, adios.